Benjamin Netanyahu распустил кабинет войны.
Benjamin Netanyahu dissolved the war cabinet. The Israeli prime minister reported the dissolution of the cabinet, which was formed after Hamas's attack on October 7th. Now the Israeli authorities will make military decisions by a slimmer composition, Netanyahu himself and a group of ministers. After 8 months of war, the government is on the edge of a political crisis and facing upcoming elections. Meanwhile, the war continues. According to the Hamas-controlled Gaza Ministry of Health, the number of dead Gazan civilians is nearing 40,000, although these numbers cannot be checked by independent experts. Analysts believe that the dissolution of the war cabinet won't have an effect on the military conflict. An exit from the conflict seems increasingly illusory. We often have both official and unofficial Israeli representatives in our show, but today I chose to speak with the face and voice of the Palestinian side, a person who, without exaggeration, is famous, at least in the Middle East. Mustafa Barghouti, an activist, politician, and the General Secretary of the Palestinian National Initiative. He is located not in Gaza, but in Ramallah in the West Bank. Interestingly enough, Barghouti graduated from the Kuban State Medical Academy, as well as Stanford University in the U.S. I first asked him about the peace initiative proposed by President Biden.
Palestinians have welcomed the initiative. And as a matter of fact, the resistance movements in Gaza, including Hamas and Jihad and others, also welcomed it and welcomed also the United Nations Security Council resolution. But there is a big question here, which is that Mr. Biden claimed that his proposal was an Israeli one, delivered to him by Netanyahu. Netanyahu never admitted that. And as a matter of fact, Netanyahu is the only one who never accepted his own proposal. And as a matter of fact, also ministers in the Israeli government like Smotrich and Ben Gvir claimed and continued to demand that Netanyahu should show them his own proposal. They said they never saw it. We're talking about ministers in the Israeli government. So in my opinion, the main obstacle to reaching an agreement is Netanyahu. He has undermined a previous proposal, which was presented by Israel, and the Hamas accepted it, but then he undermined it by changing his position. Unfortunately, Israel is led by a prime minister who doesn't care not only about stopping the war, he doesn't care about the Israeli people, he doesn't care about the safety of the Israeli prisoners. All he cares about is his own interest.
Yes. I asked about the Reuters publication, which agrees that, after all, it's Hamas which switches between agreeing and not agreeing with the proposals put forth by Joseph Biden.
Of course they do. And Hamas did not reject it after accepting it. Hamas initiated the process of negotiations about its implementation. The initiatives that Mr. Biden declared included that Israeli army will withdraw from all areas, inhabited areas, in the first stage of the agreement. And at the end of the second stage of the agreement, or during the second stage, will withdraw from Gaza. Hamas just wanted to make sure that what do they mean by withdrawing from Gaza? Would that include withdrawing the Israeli army from Rafah crossing with Egypt, which is, of course, should be natural since Rafah crossing is in Gaza, and also from Philadelphia corridor, which are the borders between Egypt and Israel. That's all they did. They asked questions about the details of what is proposed. That doesn't mean they are rejecting it. It means that Israel is just trying to find a way to put the blame on the Palestinians as usual.
What kind of future does Barghouti envision for Gaza? Will something good come out of the current situation, and can independence be achieved without rape?
Those who the Palestinian people choose, like every other country in the world. Who should rule the United States of America? The president that the American people will elect. That applies to every country. And in our case, Hamas declared in a meeting that took place in Moscow with all Palestinian groups that they have no intention of being the government in Gaza or being in the government in Gaza. What we need, as we all agreed, is a national consensus government that is accepted by all Palestinian political groups, which would be an interim government to achieve two main goals. One is the unity between West Bank and Gaza, and that there is no separation. Second, that there will be no continuous Israeli occupation of Gaza. but the government would be interim because it would have a main duty of preparing for free democratic elections where Palestinians can go to polls and choose their leaders. Had we have the elections in 2021, which Israel obstructed, and the United States of America did not support, we would not have had this war. And I assure you, if we have elections, according to all polls, no single party in Palestine, neither Hamas, nor Fatah, nor us, nor anybody else, will have the absolute majority. It will be a democratic, pluralistic system. And that's what we want. No country in the world, neither Israel, nor United States, nor any other country in the region, can impose on Palestinians who should lead them.
Ну, то есть,
According to our guest, democracy and Hamas are two compatible concepts. I asked a question about an investigation by the Wall Street Journal, which proves that the leadership of Hamas supports as many civilian casualties as possible. One of the terrorist leaders, Sinwar, admits to this in his personal correspondence. Barghouti doesn't believe Western media.
прессе не верит.
I never heard anybody from Hamas saying that he is happy with the killing of civilians. On the contrary, many of them consider that on the 7th of October, the fact that the whole Israeli brigade fell apart in less than 3 hours led to certain actions like taking hostages from civilians, which was not supposed to happen. But nevertheless, we are against killing any civilian. You know me very well. You know I am an advocate of nonviolence everywhere. And we are against killing any civilian. But the Israeli propaganda distributed so many lies. They claimed there was decapitation of children, which proved not to be true. They claimed there was sexual harassment and sexual rape of Israeli women, which proved to be not true. I challenge them, for instance. They claim, let me finish. They claim that 30 children were killed. They never published the names of these 30 Israeli children on the 7th of October. I know that one child only was killed, and he was 14 years old, and maybe another one because of bombardment, I don't know from where. But they claim there were 30. Please ask them to publish the names. But even if there were 30 children killed, which I am sorry for, I don't think this justifies the fact that Israel killed up till now 16,000 Palestinian children, the names of whom are published.
Cases of rape and murder on October 7th are proven. There is documented evidence. The figures that the Hamas Ministry of Health provides are periodically refuted, including by international media. Here's what else Barghouti had to say in his interview.
You mean that there were not 16,000 children, 15,000 children?
No.
Is that okay to kill 15,000?
But then why do you name the figures if you understand that they may be wrong? I mean,
because I am sure of the figures, because I have 45 medical teams working for us, including medical doctors and nurses who report to us regularly outside the ranks of Hamas what is happening there. And I think so many, even CNN published so many pictures of so many children killed. And I don't think this is an Israeli way. The question to Israelis should be, is killing 1,000 children okay? Of course not. 2,000? Of course not. 15,000? It's even worse. But
even one life of a child is
play games that this name was not correct. I challenge the Israelis through you to publish the names of the 30 Israeli children that they claim were killed on the 7th of October.